Today, our search continues for a leafy green vegetable that can tolerate lots of summer heat. And heavens knows, we have had a lot of heat lately in many parts of the United States and around the world. Leafy greens, they're good for you. They can lower your blood cholesterol levels. They also contain special brain antioxidants. Some would say it's a brain food. But grow it in the summertime? Not if you live in a hot climate. Let's begin our chat in search of a heat-tolerant leafy green with Sacramento County Master Gardener Gail Pothour, who runs through the list of varieties that she and other master gardeners have tried to grow in the heat. All right, now we come to number 9 on the list of the 10 most popular garden vegetables, and it's a cool season crop in California. If you live in a very mild climate or the Bay Area of California, you can certainly grow all the lettuce varieties you want. Lettuce. And I can see why people grow lettuce, and I hope that you try something different than iceberg. Iceberg, to me, is the most nutritionless, tasteless lettuce that has fallen into mass marketing, because there's a lot of leaf lettuce varieties that are so much tastier and also can withstand heat better than iceberg.
Yeah, I was going to say iceberg doesn't do that well in the Sacramento area. We're too hot. And so we generally recommend try a loose leaf or romaine or one of the butterhead types. But if you have to have an iceberg, pick that up at the store. Don't try growing it. It won't do that well here.
Yeah, it's a waste of space, as a matter of fact. Now, I have been on a lifelong gardener search for a lettuce variety, a loose leaf lettuce variety that can take the heat. Some are better than others as far as getting maybe through July, but it seems like when July turns into August, they all start bolting.
Right. And actually, several years ago, we did an experiment 2 years in a row at the Horticulture Center, because we get this question a lot. Why can't I grow lettuce in the summer? So we thought, okay, let's find some varieties, grow them through the heat of summer and see how they do. First off, you need to start with some varieties that are heat resistant, like Jericho. That was bred in Israel, so it's a little more heat resistant. And we tried, half dozen or so different varieties. We monitored when we planted them, how many weeks it was before they started bolting. Some did better than others. Some did pretty well. But what we found is you need to mulch heavily to keep the moisture in, keep them well watered, provide shade during their entire lifespan in the summer, and then be prepared as soon as one starts to bolt, take it out, and then replant with another transplant. So kind of a succession planting. It is possible, but it's a lot of work. I say it takes a lot of water and shading and monitoring. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Or grow it in the shade if you have a shady location. But often it's not just the sunlight, it's the heat. And even in the shade in Sacramento, we can be fairly warm in the summertime. So it's a tough thing to do.
The closest green I've found that can be grown year-round, and especially if you do it in the shade, it does okay here, and that's Swiss chard.
Right. Yeah, that can be grown year-round. I have done it in an area of my yard where it got some afternoon shade in the summertime, and it was able to over summer. But yeah, any of the other leafy greens are going to be a little tough. One of my favorites, absolute favorite lettuce is called Pomegranate Crunch. It's a red romaine, and it is very good. I get it as pelleted seeds, which makes it a little bit easier to germinate. Lettuce can have a difficult time germinating. Lettuce does need light in order to germinate, so don't plant the seed too deeply. Pelleted seeds don't have that problem. But I think if sometimes people have difficulty getting lettuce to germinate because maybe they buried it too far. It needs light. It's one of the few vegetables that needs light to germinate.
And I believe it's one of those seeds that will not germinate in heat, period.
Right. If you tried sowing lettuce seed in the summer, maybe for a fall crop, if your soil temperature is too warm, the lettuce seed can go dormant. So if you're also starting it indoors, whereas I use a heating mat to get a lot of my seeds to germinate, you don't use a heating mat for lettuce because the soil will be too warm and lettuce seeds will go dormant in heat.
Some of the varieties that have been recommended as heat-tolerant lettuces that I've grown over the years, and they're barely heat-tolerant, are black-seeded Simpson and deer tongue. They're pretty good, but like I said, they do eventually bolt. But if you're looking for first of all, I think one good rule to remember is if you want lettuce to last in the yard as long as possible, grow loose-leaf varieties, not head lettuce.
Right. And of the ones that we did in our heat-tolerant trial, the ones that did well, besides Jericho, was year-round bronze. It's an oak leaf. And it was late to bolt in the summer, so it actually did very well. Red Cross is a red butterhead. Merlot, a dark red leaf lettuce. And a Paraday, a red oak leaf. That's one of my favorites, but I can no longer find seeds for it. And then Nevada, it's a green loose leaf, kind of a semi-heading type. So all those did well as can be expected in our summer heat. So they did better than a lot of other varieties.
I'm glad you mentioned Nevada because I have grown that one before, and it was pretty good. But I think if you want a dependable green, do the Swiss chard.
Right, I agree.
All right. Let's continue our search for a heat-resistant leafy green with Dr. Laura Varich. She is the fresh physician, and she believes that eating a healthy diet, especially what you can grow in your own yard, can get you back on the road to good health. I have been on a search for a bolt-resistant lettuce, and you gave me that tip last year when we talked last June in, I believe it was episode 269, about healthy diet. You said you need to try the Chinese cabbage, the Tokyo Bacana Chinese cabbage. It is bolt resistant. It can take the heat. And I go, well, gee, I'll try that because I've been searching for years for a summertime lettuce, a green that I can grow and have with just about every meal. And sure enough, that Tokyo Bacana Chinese cabbage, which isn't really a cabbage, it's more lettuce-like. It has a crunchy flavor. It's a loose leaf variety. Grow it in the shade in the summertime. Grow it in the winter in full sun. And it is delicious. It grows easily. You can plant a short row every month, and you can cut it, and it comes back. And eventually it wears out, but you can still plant it several times a year. Try it. Thank you so much. And in fact, you even said that try it. It's a game changer. And it really is for anybody searching for a bolt resistant leafy green that can take the heat. Try that Tokyo Bacana Chinese cabbage.
Yeah, and you get a nice big head of that growing, and you could just cut off the outer leaves, like you said, and keep it going and keep it going. And for some reason, the cabbage pests don't seem to like it that much. I haven't had trouble with them, whereas I have trouble with some of the other cabbages. Another one I want to tip you off to, in case you haven't tried it, is one called devil's ear lettuce. Have you tried that?
No. Okay, I'm writing it down. Devil's ear lettuce.
That's another one that I feel like it goes a lot longer before bolting than the rest of them. And it's kind of got a long skinny leaf. It's a smallish, kind of makes a smallish head of a long skinny leaf. It's a loose leaf. And it's got some purple on the edges. Super wonderful, very nice flavor. And it doesn't bolt, at least not for a long time. So I love that about it.
They've done some trials out at the Fair Oaks Horticulture Center, the Sacramento County Master Gardener demonstration garden. And they one summer did try a lot of different heat-tolerant lettuce, or allegedly heat-tolerant lettuces. And their final verdict was, well, they're barely heat-tolerant. And they included things like black-seeded Simpson, Amish, deer tongue, Red Cross, Jericho, year-round bronze, and a dark red leaf lettuce called Paradai, Paradai, which is a red oak leaf lettuce. And also they tested Nevada, which is a green loose leaf, and it's kind of a semi-heading type. Again, they did as well as expected in summer heat, but as expected means, well, it might get you to August, but that's about it. So you think devil's ear lettuce can last through August?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say that, but
okay.
But it seems to go longer than the rest of mine as far as before it bolts.
All right. Well, I will definitely pick up some devil's ear lettuce and give that a try this summer and see how it does.
Great.
Because greens, let's talk a little bit about greens. They're so good for you. They're low calorie And you can serve them in a variety of ways. You can serve them raw in a salad. You can saute them. You can mix it up in stir fries. There's just so much you can do with greens.
Yeah, and they really are probably if you think about healthy foods, they're probably our number one healthy food. They have the most nutrients, again, that nutrient density that we were talking about. So yeah, greens are terrific for us. And some of the things that are really, really good for us in the foods that we eat, I know we talked about this a little bit before, the strong colors and the strong flavors in our food. And greens have both of those things going for them. Those dark green colors are really a combination of colors. It's a whole smattering of colors that's making that dark green. So they've got a lot of phytonutrients there, and they do have some of those stronger flavors, right? Some of that bitterness to it and things like that. That tells us that there's a lot of those really good phytonutrients in there. So yeah, greens, we can do so much with them, and it's just a matter of finding the ones that you really love.